ಅವಾಗ ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮರ್ಯಾದೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಅಟೆಂಡ್
Good afternoon. I'm going to start with after 5 minutes. Okay, let's just wait for another 5 minutes. So let all your friends join. I'm going to start then. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody has understood from previous session. Anybody is having any doubts from those portions? Drop a message in the chat box. Any topic you have doubt? So we were doing home tab, right? Home tab, we have finished conditional formatting, right? Format as table and something about fill series, flash series, right? I hope everybody has understood. Any doubts you're having, I'll just give you 2 minutes. You can just refer back, okay, and let me know so that I will just continue with the other session after that. Okay. I guess everybody is clear with the topic. Okay. So I'll just continue with today's session. In the home tab, okay, I had just left with the auto sum option, which you can see in the editing group, and sort and filter. Okay. So, and about the find and select. Okay. Find and select, we just have the here we just have the find and replace options. So when we go to the advanced Excel, you're going to find all those other stuff explained in the sessions. Okay. So now today, see, I have done all these down, right, up, left in your fill series. Okay. And only the across worksheet was the balance. Okay. Across the worksheet. We'll just try to finish that first and then I'll continue with the auto sum. Okay. So what is this across worksheet? As you can observe, it is not highlighted here, right? It is not highlighted here. So how do we get that option? First of all, okay, so I'll just have a table of content here with some data and I have just formatted it with some colors and I have filled it with number formatting. Okay, so now I just want to copy the entire thing, okay, and just paste it over it in the other sheets. I just want it in the other sheets. So how do I do that? See, across worksheet will help you to do that. Okay, but it is not yet highlighted, right? So how do I get that option? First of all, okay, I am in my across sheet now. Okay, across sheet is the sheet name. Okay, I am in that. And now just select the table here. Just select the table and I just have some sheets over here. I just have some sheets over here. What do I do? See here, across sheet, just press control, okay, and select the sheets to which you want to fill out the particular content. Okay, now I am holding control. I'll just select the sheets to which I want to paste it. So now, how do I know I have selected the sheets? See, as you can observe in the title bar here, okay, in the title bar here, okay, we have example 4, that is my Excel workbook name, and I have next to that we have group as a in the brackets, right? Group in the brackets. So that is how you can identify we have grouped the particular sheets. So now I have grouped the sheets. What is the option? I want to paste it into those sheets, right? These contents needs to be filled out in the other sheets, worksheets in a particular workbook. I'll just go to fill option here. Okay, just select that. And here now observe across worksheets. Okay, it is highlighted. Across worksheets, it is highlighted. Now just click on it and you will get a dialog box over here and it has 3 options again. All, contents, formats. Here, all means contents along with the formatting options, whatever you have done to the table or the table of content. Okay, so here you can just select whichever you want to. So first one we will see all. So all means contents along with the formats will be copied to the sheets that I have chosen. So now just I'll click on OK. Okay, so now just go to the sheets. Just a minute. I think I didn't select the table there. Okay, so just select the table. Okay, so now just select the table. Hold control and select the sheet to which you want to paste it. Okay, okay. Go to fill and select across worksheet and select all and click on OK. Okay, so now just see I am inside sheet 5 only. I am inside sheet 5 only. If I go to across sheet, okay. So now to know which sheet I'm actually in, just ungroup the sheets. Now I am actually grouped the sheets, right, which you can see in the top this one status bar. But if at all you want to ungroup it, just select, right click on any of the sheets that you have selected. Okay, just right click on it. Okay, say ungroup sheets. Say ungroup sheets. Okay, now you can view the individual sheets that are available. Okay, so now, okay, it's not coming. Once again. Okay, I didn't ungroup it previously, right? So just select it. Okay, select the sheet. Okay, go to fill option. Across worksheet, click on OK. Right click on it. Okay, and group the sheets. Okay, I think it is not choosing the right one. Okay, let me just take another sheet. So just go to, yeah, now it has come. It's slow, I guess. Once again. Yeah, just insert a new sheet. Okay, so now I have the contents here. Okay, just select the sheet, go to fill option, cross worksheet, click on OK. Okay, some application error, I guess. Okay, not an issue. Okay, you can just try out this same option, or you can also select only the formats or select only the content and then try with the same thing. Okay, so just select the sheet, go to across worksheet, contents, and click on OK. Okay, so now select the ungrouped sheets. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it is here. See, it is already pasted. The screen was little right side, rightwards. Okay, so now see whatever I had it here in the across sheet, okay, worksheet, it is copied to the other sheet. So now I'll just remove it if you want. Okay, even the all the formats you can just clear it out. Okay, so we'll just try to copy the contents which is in my across sheet. So select the table, select the sheet. Okay, go to across worksheet, select the contents, click on OK. Okay, ungroup the sheet. Now you can see, okay, only the contents are pasted to our worksheet, current worksheet to which you had selected. Okay, so same thing, if at all you want only the formatting option, not the conditional formatting, it is the basic formatting option. Okay, just go to the across sheet or whatever the sheet you want to copy. Okay, just select the table of content here and go to the go to the worksheet. Okay, so select the across sheet worksheet option and select only the formats and click on OK. Okay, so now just go to the worksheet here. So that is your sheet 5. Only the formatting that I had applied to the table will be applied. Okay, so this is how you can achieve this across worksheet. See, now I haven't selected any of the multiple sheets, right? So that is why it is not highlighted. Once you select multiple sheets, then only this across worksheet option will be highlighted for you. Okay, that is up to your fill. Okay, and we'll come to this auto sum. Okay, auto sum. Okay, see here, I think that I just have the I have some set of data. Yeah, okay, it may be some 6 subjects marks I'm having or 7 subjects. Okay, so 6 subjects are there. Now I'll place the cursor in the cell. Okay, if at all I want to get the sum of all the rows. As of now, we don't know what are the formulas that we are going to use, right? But now you can just, you have the option of directly selecting the or calculating the sum here. So how do I do that? So I have placed the cell here. Go to the auto sum. As the name itself suggests, it is automatically giving you the sum formula. Okay, so just click on it. Please don't unmute, okay? Whoever is, yeah. So now I'll just show you again. Okay, I'll just show you again how we did. So I have given some data here, right? And I've placed this cursor in the cell in this particular cell, that is F11. Now I want the sum of the entire column, right? So I'll just click on the auto sum option, which is there in the editing group. Okay, so just click on it. See, once I place the cursor over it, it is automatically showing, right? It is automatically, just a minute. It is automatically showing what is the formula that will be appearing. Okay, so once I click on it, it is going to give you, 1 second. There is lots of disturbance for me. 1 second. Please don't unmute, pa. Okay, whoever it is doing, even if you are not interested, please don't unmute. It will disturb others also. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so just place the cursor over here and select the auto sum option. Once you place the cursor over it, you're going to see the formula there. What is that? Is equal to sum of, it is giving you some range of cells. Okay, so automatically it is going to choose the columns. Okay, so just click on that auto sum. As you can see, directly the sum formula is displayed for you, right? So it is asking for the range. Automatically it has chosen the column. If you want, you can change it. Okay, after it has appeared, the formula has been appeared there, just press enter. It is going to give you the sum of the entire column. Okay, similar to that, if at all you have some data and you want to perform some average. Okay, so just give the data here. So maybe average of 6 subject marks. Okay, so I don't have to select any range. Automatically it is taking. Now I just clicked on auto sum to get the total. But if at all you want the average, okay, just click on the drop down which is available for you in the auto sum option. Okay, click on the drop down there. See, as you can observe there, the second option is the average. Just click on it. The average formula is going to be displayed for you. See, all these formulas we are going to discuss in the later session today. Okay, but as of now, automatically how to do it, it is shown here. Okay, so those options are available for you in the auto sum option in the editing group. Okay, in the home tab. Okay, so now just press enter. The particular in the particular cell you're going to get the average calculated for the 6 marks that you have entered. Maybe the marks or 6 data that you have entered. Okay, similar to that we have min, max and count. Okay, so it can be done row wise also. Okay, I'll just try to enter the data here for minimum. Okay, so I have entered some data. I'll place the cursor over here. I want to get the minimum out of it, right? So I want to get the minimum out of that particular range. Okay, so just click on the drop down available in the auto sum and select the min option. Okay, directly, automatically it is going to choose the horizontal or the row, the first row in which I have entered the data. Okay, just press enter. It is going to give you the minimum number. So out of 56, 23, 45, 67 and 99, we have got 23 as the minimum number. Okay, like this, similar to that, we can also have maximum values. Okay, I'll just give some value here. Okay, so I'll place the cursor here and I'll click on the drop down again and say max. So automatically it is going to take the, so now we have the content selected as the only one column by default, right? So if at all you want, you can just select the drag and drop here and press enter. It will give you the maximum number. Okay, so similar to that, the last one is count. Okay, so here I'll place the thing, or here also I can place it. Just go to the auto sum option and click on count numbers. See, automatically it is choosing the first row. If you place the cursor here, it is going, you have one number in the particular, The count number is here. Okay, just click on OK. So it is going to give the count of the number of data which you have entered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the count of those data, it is going to appear in that cell. Okay, if at all you want to change, you can change. How to change and how to give it, how to do all those things manually, we're going to see in the later session today. Okay, so maybe the second half. Now, so this is your auto sum option. Everybody is clear with across sheets and auto sum option? Any doubts anybody is having? You can just raise the hands or put a chat in the chat box. Anybody is having any doubts? Okay. So we'll just continue with what we've left there after auto sum. As you can observe, see clear formatting and all we have seen already. So the next option is sort and filter. Okay, the sort and the filter. See how to apply sort, how to filter, all those things we're going to see. First of all, we need to know what is sorting and filtering, right? See, sorting is nothing but, see, this particular option is going to provide you with two options, that is sorting and filtering option. So what is sorting? Sorting is nothing but, anybody is knowing what is sorting? What do you mean by sorting? Anybody can put a message in the chat box if you know what is sorting. So let us have an interaction, right? So just put a message in the chat box. What is sorting? Yes, Srushti, what is the arrangement? What are we arranging here? Arranging the data, right? Arranging the data in ascending order or descending order. Basically, sorting means we are going to arrange the data in a particular order. So order, which order? It may be in ascending order or it may be in descending order. Similar to that, we have the option as filter over here. What is that filter? So filtering means, so you're going to purify your water. That process is nothing but if you are filtering the water, right? See, whatever is required, we are going to just extract from that particular data. That is nothing but filter. Okay, so we're going to see the options there. Okay, so just sort and filter. So in the sort and filter, I have already applied those options. Okay, see, one thing is, I'll just take a set of data over here. Okay, I just have some data, okay, with some rows and columns. Okay, so let me apply first a table for this. So along with the table, automatically the sort and filter is going to be applied. Okay, so how to do that? How do we insert a table for this? Anybody? What is the shortcut for inserting the table to this? Anybody? Shortcut. I want the shortcut for inserting the table to the selected range. What is the shortcut? Shortcut for inserting the data. So what is the shortcut? Anybody? Okay, I'll just place the cursor in the any of the cell in between the range. Okay, between the range here. Okay. So somebody has answered. Control enter. No pa. Control plus we have something else. Chitra. Control plus. See, I'll just place the cursor in the middle. Okay, I'll just press Control and T. Okay, so Control plus T will be the shortcut for inserting the table to this data. Okay, so now either Control T or Control L, both will give you the same option. Okay, so once this dialog box appear, it is showing the range. Okay, if at all you want, you can just drag and drop to which you want to apply the table. Okay, so just click on OK. Now automatically, as you can see, there is a drop down appearing on the each column of your table, right? So automatically automatically it is appearing, right? So it is appearing for your table, the drop down. Okay, if at all you don't want this filtering option or the sorting and filter option, okay, see whatever the drop down is appearing, that is nothing but your sorting and filtering option. If at all you don't want that, see, once I am in the table, once I have inserted the table, as I told you before, the design tab is going to be opened, right? So in the design tab, you can just deselect this filter button option. Deselect that filter button option. So by default, it will be applied to any of your tables. If at all you don't want, go to the design tab and click on unselect the filter button option from that. Okay, I'll just click on this. As you can see, the drop down is gone now. If at all you want it back, just click it again. It is going to be back in your table. So this is one way of inserting your auto filter, sorting and filter option. Okay, so this is how when you create a table itself, automatically it is going to be into your table. But if at all I want it explicitly separate option, if I want to choose, okay, so just select the table. Okay, in the home tab, you have the sort and filter option, right? So just click on it. Okay, you have the option as filter over here. You have the option as filter over here. Just click on that. If your table has that option already, it will be deselected. Okay, it will not be seen anymore. If at all you don't have, once you click it, it will reappear. Okay, once if it is already appearing in your table, it will disappear once you choose that filter option. If at all you don't have it, it will reappear. Okay, so this is how you can apply sort and filter option to your table. So here entire table means for each column it will be applied. As you can see, for the entire table in individual columns, the particular drop down is applied. So this drop down is nothing but the sort and filter option for your table. So basically what is going to do, as I said, it is going to sort and filter. So now how do we do that? How do we arrange the data? So as I said, it is applied for individual columns. So now just click on the option, the drop down there. So now I have selected from the column SL number. So to this SL number, okay, so there are many options. Once you click on that drop down, there are many options available. So what are those? The first one is sort smallest to largest. The second one is sort largest to smallest. First one is sort smallest to largest. Second one is sort largest to smallest. So now these two, and the final one here is sort by color. Sort by color. So we have three options for sorting your data. So what first one is what you are trying to arrange the data in ascending order. And the second one is largest to smallest means in descending order. And the third one is sort by color. So that is why I have placed many colors to my table, right? So I have formatted it with different colors. So now to show that, sort by color, sort by smallest to largest and largest to smallest. So we'll just try to observe in the SL number. Okay, I have the numbers arranged in ascending order only, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If at all I want it in descending order, okay, just click on the drop down. Okay, SL number I'm choosing. Okay, click on the drop down there and select sort largest to smallest. Sort largest to smallest. So that is how you can arrange it in descending order. So just click on it. See now the 10th data which was in the last column came to first row now. Okay, so which was in the last row, now it has come to the first row. Okay, similarly, if at all you want to arrange this descending order and ascending order, just go to the same option, drop down, select sort smallest to largest. So just click on it, it will be arranged from ascending to descending, I mean to the smallest to largest. So that is how you can sort the data. So this can be applied for any of the columns here. So now SL number is done. Employee name, if you choose it, it will ask you for A to Z. See, in the SL number, we have only numbers, right? Now in employee name column, we all have the text. So now for text, Excel is going to automatically show you sort A to Z, sort Z to A. So this is also one particular order, right? It is in smallest to largest and largest to smallest. So that is why we cannot actually decide which is greater, which is smaller in case of text, right? So that is why it is automatically, the Excel is automatically showing you A to Z and Z to A. And the third option, it remains same, sort by color. Okay, so we'll just see, we have seen ascending to descending and descending to ascending now, right? We'll go to A to Z and Z to A. So now just click on A to Z. See, A to Z, it is appearing. Your SL number may change, but if at all you change that particular data sorting option for employee name column, okay, it is going to actually ask you for A to Z or Z to A. So according to that, A comes first, C, G, K, M, R, S, and S. So that is how it is done. Okay, so this is how we can sort each and every column. So ID number you have as the numbers, right? So again, it is going to show you from smallest to largest. If I click on largest to smallest, the last number is going to appear first. Okay, so customer support, again, it is in your text format. Same thing, A to Z and Z to A. If you choose Z to A, it is going to come here. And the salary part also, if you want from largest to smallest, smallest to largest, you can do it. Okay, so if I'll just go back to smallest to largest from SL number. As you can see, this is my final data. Think like that. Okay, so now we will see the third option, that is sort by color. See, sort by color. Okay, so it will give you options based on colors I have used in my table. It will be choosing the color according to my color which I have applied to different cells or different rows in my table. So if at all I choose red, all the red color data will appear, will be grouped together. Okay, if at all I choose sort by color again, and if I choose blue, all the blue color will be arranged. See, red is already arranged, right? If I choose blue, it is going to appear in the beginning. If I choose sort by color and yellow again, yellow color will come first. So like this, according to the color also, you can just sort your data. Okay, again go to employee name. It is same thing. It is the same thing, yellow color or blue color, whatever you want, you can just select the colors here. Blue color will come first if you choose that. And if you select red color will come first. Okay, like this you can arrange your data or sort your data according to the, okay, according to the ascending order, descending order, or by color. Okay, so this is how you can use the sorting option. So now I'll go to the first drop down. Okay, so we have only those things for your sort options. Next one is filter by color and number filters. You need to know what is filter by color. Sorting is done. After that, we have filters, right? So in filters, we have filter by color and number filters. So how we have sort by color, similarly, filter by color option is available for you. Filter by color option is available for you. So how to do that filtering option? So I have just selected the column SL number, right? So I'll click on it. Filter by color. If I choose red, only red color data will be appearing for you. Only red, only the rows which have the red as the color, okay, will appear for you. Rest of the things will be hidden. It will not be shown to you. It is nothing but your hidden. See, after 6, I have the cell number as 13. That means 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Those rows will be hidden for you. If at all you want to get that back, just go to the same drop down again, and you have the option now as once you apply a filter, okay, this clear filter from SL number or clear filter from any of the fields will automatically be highlighted. Okay, I'll just click on it. So now I haven't applied any of the filters to my table. Now go to the drop down. It's not highlighted, right? But once I apply this filter, okay, now I'll just choose blue. Now I have applied some filter, like I have, I'm filtering by color, right? So I have applied blue color. Now click on it, see the option, the fifth option, clear filter from SL number. So just click on it, it will be, the filter which was applied to it will be cleared for you. So like this, you can use the filter option for by color. Okay, similar to that, you have filter by color. After that, number filters. Number filters. So before going to that, let me just show you here. Select all option is available, right? So select all means all the contents of the table will be displayed. If at all you want to view only some of the details, So since I have the SL number selected here, only the numbers, only the data from SL number column is selected here. Okay, it is shown here. So that, see, I'll just deselect the select all option, click on only 1, 2, 3, and 4 options. 1, 2, 3, and 4 SL number, and I'll click on it. See, you can view only 1, 2, 3, 4 options over here. Since I have applied the filter by color, right? So automatically it is choosing red color and the blue color and the green, later the yellow color. If at all you want to apply the filter for this, go to the filter by color and select the blue color. Okay, the complete table data will be given to you. Okay, so now if at all you want to view all, select all and select the clear filter option, it is going to show you everything. Now it is filtered, right? So just, I mean, sorted in a particular order, right? So just sort by color. If you say blue, it will be done. Or if you say sort smallest to largest, it is applied to your entire table. Okay, so that is how you can use this options over here. See, this is for one column. If at all I choose employee name, okay, it is selected all, right? Because everything I can view from the table. So if at all you want to view only some of them, deselect this select all option, select only those you want to view and click on OK. Only those data will appear for you. Okay, so this is how you can use that particular filters. Okay, so last one there is okay. So now I'll just click on select all. I'll click on OK. All of those will appear for me. Okay, I'll just select this again. Okay, so in the text filters, or you can go with SL number also, in the number filters or text filters, depending on which column you are using. Okay, number filters or text filters will be appear. So what does it do? Number filters, if you go, you have the options as equals, does not equals, greater than or equal to, less than. See, whatever you are seeing over here, same options were there in your conditional formatting, right? The same options is available for you here. Same options are available for you. So now what does that actually means? Number filters, I'll just go select equals there, and a particular dialog box will appear for you in which it says equals. Okay, I just want to view the column details of 3 and I'll click on OK. See, the SL number with 3 will be appearing for you. Only that particular row will appear for you. If at all you want more, just click on that. Okay, clear filter option, it comes back. So what did I do? Just go to the filter option there. Okay, number filter option, go to equals. Okay, so you can just give a number over there. Okay. I'm sorry. I think I just gave some other thing. Number filters, just if at all I say does not equal, if I give 4, does not equal to 4, just click on OK. See the number of rows here. Without 4, all other all other rows are appearing. Only that 4th row, not the 4th row, exact 4th row, it is the row which contains SL number as 4 will not be seen for you. It will be just hidden for you. Only the other rows will be appearing for you. Okay, this is how you can apply the number filters. Similar to that, if at all you want employee name, just go to that text filters again. Okay, it asks you for begins with, ends with. Let us just go with begins with here. A dialog box will appear. It is there for you. Now just give employee name begins with G. I have given and here and I have given or here. Okay, so here and means, okay, begins with, you can also merge another condition or criteria over here. Okay, so begins with I have taken and. You can also go with does not or ends with. You can just go with begins with and ends with. You can also go with or. So we'll see the option, we'll see the difference between the two. If I say begins with and select and, ends with I. Okay, so my name, employee name should start with G and it has to end with I only. Then only if I click on OK, it is going to show you the data. Otherwise, okay, I'll just clear this format. Okay. Yeah, the employee names I was choosing, right? So clear from that. So now again, go back I'll go to text filters and I will ask for equals again, and I'll choose G. If I go with or and select, again I'll just go with ends with, okay, ends with yeah. Okay, either it should be the particular number should start with, begins with G, or it should end with A. My data my data or the employee name, either it should start with or begin with G, or it should end with A. Just click on OK. See here, Gauri, it is starting with G, and Kavya here, it is ending with A, and Stella, it is ending with A, and Arpita also, it is ending with A. So the data or the employee name which is starting with G or ending with A both will be considered. If I go with and then, and will have to satisfy both the criteria which I have given in the dialog box. Or means any of the condition, and means both the conditions should satisfy. Then only you're going to filter the options over here. Okay. Anybody is having any doubts in sorting and filter options? Any doubts here? Anybody is having any doubts? Okay. So let me just give you a task here. I wanted to drop a message. Okay. So if at all I want to just put a chat in the message in the chat box. Okay. I just want the employee name, which is starting with, I just want, okay, let me just show you the complete table here. Okay, I'll clear the filters. Okay, I just want the names, employee names, Mary, Raj, and Rakesh. I just want Mary, Raj, and Rakesh. So, what is the condition or criteria I can give there? Please tell me. So, what are the steps? Anybody put a chat box? What is the condition that I can give? Mary, Raj, and Rakesh. Only 3 rows I want to see. It is based on the text formatting, text filtering you should show me. So what is the condition criteria I have to select that? What are the steps? Anybody? So anybody? Name with A. A begins with A, no? I want the names Mary, Raj, and Rakesh. Okay, other than Srushti, anybody else? Okay, so I'll just show you the steps again. Employee name, just select it. Okay, go to text filters option and just go to any of the option there. Okay, you can again choose it from here. Okay, so just select begins with here, begins with, and type. I want Mary, right? So M, and, or we can also give it R. Okay, or begins with, again you can just give and go to this one. Okay, just click on OK. So what did I give? Begins with M or begins with R. All those will be considered. Okay, just click on OK. One second. Just click on OK here. So only those 3 records will be shown to me. Okay, is this clear now? Anybody is having any doubts? Srushti, any doubts now? Okay. So now, okay. So now we'll just go to the other options. That is end of your auto sorting and filtering. Okay. So now there is final option, the last option in your editing group. Okay, just go to that filter, find and select. So what is this find and select? Okay, so I'll just let me clear the filter here. Yeah, so go to find and select. Here we have the two options, find and replace. We are going to discuss only those two, and rest of them will be discussed in your advanced Excel concepts. Okay, so what does this find do? See, I'll just click on it. Okay, and here we have an option, find what. See, I have so much of data here. I have so much of data. Okay, large database I have. I am particularly finding for some of the data from my worksheet. So let me just type, let me just type Monday in some of the places. Okay, so Monday here, and Monday here. Okay, 3 times I'll just write it. So I'm trying to find for Monday. Okay, Monday, Monday, and here there will be options like find all and find next. Here find all means all the appearances of that particular text which you enter here. All the appearance of this text in the worksheet. Find next means, see here, one time when I typed my Monday, your first occurrence or one occurrence is highlighted over here. Okay, that is your first occurrence or maybe the current occurrence. So if I click on find next, the particular cursor will be taken to the another cell wherein it has the same text. So again, if I click, it goes to the next one. Like this, find next means it is going to highlight the complete sheet. Okay, find next will highlight, not complete sheet, the text which appears in the particular cell, that cell will be highlighted. Find next means it is going to give you the next data, that is the next cell. If I say find all, okay, and it is going to show you in which are all the cells it is present. In the drop down here, you can just see, okay, only in 3 cells it is found. It is going to give those, list all those appearances. Okay, so it is an H10, okay, J12 and E14. It is an H12. See, this is your H12. Okay, this is your H12. Okay, this is your E14. This is your J12. Okay, and one more is H10. This is your H10. Okay, so how do we find out the name of the cell? It appears in the name box, right? Okay, so this is how you are going to get all the appearances of this text. Now, after finding, what do? I want to replace those text. Okay, so either you can just go to replace option available in the same dialog box, just click on it, and now it will ask you for replace with. All those Monday text want to be replaced with something else. So how do I do it? Just give Tuesday in that. I'm just replacing Monday with Tuesday. Okay, so now either you can replace all the cell that has the Monday as the value, or you can just find a particular cell, only in that cell you can change it. So now I am currently in H10. Okay, if you want find all or find next, I am currently in my J12 cell. Just click replace, only that particular cell gets replaced with Tuesday. If at all I click replace all, okay, all done, we made 2 replacements. So first one, I just did with the first one. Second option, other 2 cells also got replaced with Tuesday here. Okay, this is how you can replace. See, again, I'll show you. Now I have the text as Tuesday, right? So I'll just have Tuesday here. Okay, in 4 cells, I'm having Tuesday. Just go to find and click on find. It will ask you what to find. So now just Monday is not available, so I'll give it as Tuesday. If at all I click on find next, already one cell is highlighted that contains Tuesday. If I click on find next, okay. Okay, so the spelling mistake was that, right? So the spelling mistake, because of that, it says the particular text is not available. Okay, so now I'll click on find next. It goes to the next cell which contains Tuesday. Similar to that, find next, again, wherever it is there, everywhere it is going to find or highlight the particular cell. Now, after finding out, okay, I can just replace it with different text or number, whatever you want to place. So I'll just give 20 as the option. I'm just replacing Tuesday with 20. So now again, you have find all, find next, replace all options. Here you can specifically find for a particular cell and replace that cell with 20, or you can just say replace all. So this option will replace all the text, sorry, all the cell that contains this text. So if I just click on, see, I have this cell highlighted now as Tuesday. Okay, I'll just click on find next. It is coming to the other cell, right? So now if I click on replace, only that particular cell will be replaced with 20. Now, automatically it goes to the next cell, which has the same cell, same content, Tuesday. Now, if I click on replace all, so wherever there is Tuesday available, it will all be replaced with 20 or whatever the replace with text I have given or anything else. Okay, any text or number you give, that will be replaced. Okay. So this is how you can make use of find and replace. See, other option here is, okay, so if I go to find and go to options, okay, if I go to find and if I go to options available here in the dialog box, okay, you have within sheet. This is what by default it is going to be done. Or you can also go with workbook. You can also go with workbook. See, I'll just choose workbook here, or I have 20 over here, right? So I'll just take a 20 here also in the other worksheet. Now come back to the same sheet. So now I'll go to find and go to find here, and I will select within workbook. Okay, within workbook, I'm searching for 20. Okay, so now I'll just say find next. So where there is 20, everything will be, see, wherever it is moving to other sheets also, right? Wherever there is 20, it is the combination maybe 20, 21 also it has 20, right? So wherever it is there, it is going to match everything. Okay, if you want, search by rows, search by columns, search by formulas, anything you can just choose over here. Match entire cell contents, that also you have. When match entire cell contents, that time it will not ask you for, okay, so the whole thing 2021 will not be considered. Okay, 20 will be considered. So now if you go to replace and workbook, if you say, okay, the 20 can be replaced with something else. Okay, 21 if I give. Okay, so just to say replace or replace all. Okay, we made 9 replacements. Just click on okay. See, there are 4 here, and if you go to the next find all, you can just find next, you can give, see wherever it is there. Okay, wherever it is there. So 21 it is now. So wherever you go, it is going to be given. Okay, 21. See where I had 2021, 2020. So everywhere it is changed to 21. Okay, like this you can make use of find and replace. Okay, so anybody is having any doubts here up to this, please let me know. I'll just give you 2 minutes of break. Okay, so it is already 3 o'clock. Then we'll start with the other options. I have completed with home tab now. Okay, just take a 2 minutes of break. Okay, so we'll just continue with the next topic for us today. Okay, so that is your formulas. Okay, either you can use formulas or functions. Both are one and the same here with respect to Excel. Okay, so now you can just find the tab over here as formulas. Okay, just find the formula tab over here. You can see auto sum, recently used, financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup reference, math and trigonometric, more functions options. Okay, so specifically here in this session, we are going to see some mathematical formulas, statistical and text formulas. So I'll just see to that how much ever is able to complete today. I'll just do it. Okay, rest of them in the next session I'm going to complete. Okay, so now today's session will start with mathematical formulas. Okay. See, in the mathematical formulas, it is normal basic, calculation what we do. Addition, okay, product, average, minimum, maximum, all these options are available for us. We'll go one by one. Basically, how to use the formula or how to give the formula, we'll just understand first. Okay, so now auto calculation, how do we do it? It is using auto sum. Auto sum is what? Automatically you can get the options, right? To add the complete column or a complete row. So now if I just click on here, okay, just select the auto sum, automatically it is going to show you the sum option. When I press enter, automatically it shows the sum of it. So either you can just select here, go to auto sum, select the cell and go to auto sum, automatically it appears there. Otherwise, you can just go with the shortcut, that is alt plus equal to. Okay, so how do I do that? So I will just click on it. Okay, alt plus equal to symbol. Okay, alt plus equal to symbol will give you the option as sum of, that is the formula, it will be automatically displayed. So either you can just go with, okay, just press enter, directly you're going to get the sum. Either you can choose it from the editing group in the home tab, or you can just press alt plus equal to symbol, that is the shortcut for you to get the auto sum option. So this is auto calculation, automatic calculation that is done. If at all you want to do it manually, okay, you have different ways here. See, what is the formula for calculating the sum? Equal to. See, all your formulas or the functions will start with equal to symbol. It may be any type of functions, or it may be any kind of formulas. So it is going to start with equal to symbol. Since I want to find out the sum, I'll go with the formula sum. See, beauty of Excel is as soon as you type some formula equal to symbol and start typing the alphabets, okay, automatically it gives you suggestion. It is going to give you suggestions. Okay, so already sum, as you can see, already the sum formula is highlighted here. So once it is highlighted, just press tab. Okay, just press tab and you can observe, the syntax given here. Now, what is the syntax? It is the general format in which you have to write the particular formula or the function. Okay, so what is that? So once I put the equal to symbol and start with a letter, automatically it shows you different options available for that particular letter. Now I want sum, I'll write one more. Okay, so here there is the sum option which is available in the third row. So just click the down arrow, it comes to that particular sum option. When it is highlighted, press tab, you're going to get the formula ready. But what do I have to add here? That particular numbers I need to give within parenthesis. Parenthesis is nothing but the small brackets. Okay, okay. So it has already given me the starting bracket. Okay, if you want to, after writing the numbers, see, it is asking for the numbers here. Number 1, comma number 2, comma number 3, up to n numbers you can have. After writing the numbers, you can just close the brackets and press enter. You're going to get the final solution. So here, how do I enter the number? See, there are different ways. Either you can just enter the number directly. So if at all I want to add these 3 numbers, I'll type it, and in between those 3 numbers, I have to give the comma. I am separating 3 numbers using commas. After that, I'll just close the brackets and press enter. It is going to give you the sum. Otherwise, see, again, I just want to edit that particular cell. What is the shortcut? Just press the F2 button. Okay, now I have to select the cell first and press F2 option. Okay, so it is going to edit. It will allow you to edit the formula. What is the shortcut? F2. Now, I don't want this numbers. I'll just remove this. I want this entire column numbers. I want this entire column numbers. So how do I do it? Just select, just click on the first cell and drag and drop until you want the numbers to be calculated. So I want all these 5 numbers. So I have selected the range. This is known as range. And your range will be represented with the help of colon. And your range will be represented with the help of colon. If you are giving individual numbers, it will be separated with commas. If you are giving a range, it will be separated with colon. Okay, so like this, you can choose the data. So automatically it is choose from E2 to E6, right? E2 to E6. Press enter now. It's going to show you the number. Okay, let me just clear this. Okay, I'll make it as yellow. Okay, just edit the cell. Yeah, E2 to E6. If at all you don't want this range, you can even change it over here. So how do I do it? Again, just select the cell and drag and drop up to whichever the cell you want. Just I'll remove the previous one. Yeah, just click on OK. So the sum will be ready for you. The total will be calculated automatically. This is how you can do the manual calculation. Okay, so now we'll just come to the table over here with some other options. See, we have seen average, minimum, maximum, right? Already we have seen, but how do we write the formula manually? We are going to see. See, total already we know, right? So just equal to symbol, sum. Okay, put a tab. It will automatically select. Now I want the individual numbers, right? So just I will drag and drop up to this first row. Okay, and close the brackets, enter. Automatically, the rest of the data in the table will be get filled. See, if I choose the different rows in that column, everywhere you have the sum as the formula. So the entire column is filled with the same formula and it is showing the final solution. Right, similar to that, I have average. Average equal to AV. If I type AVE, and you have the options in the option like that, and you can just choose whichever you want. Just press the tab on the highlighted option. Okay, now again it is asking for the average. So average of these many subject marks. Close the brackets, press enter. So if it is not filled out with the rest of the rows, you can just drag and drop it. If you can just drag and drop it, you're going to get it. Okay, so now I have found out total and average, right? Already I have done it. But in case, if at all I change some number over here, 93, I just removed it. Okay, I just make it as 90, right? So total is 464, right? So, yeah, 554. It changed to 554. Okay, if I just plus add 99. Okay, it changed to 563. See, these all the things are automatically which is done by the Excel sheet. We are not going to do anything. Once I apply the formula, any changes you make, rest of it will be taken care by the Excel sheet only. Okay, similar to that, you can also calculate or find out the minimum number from the row or the column. So what is the formula? Equal to min, open the brackets, select the range. Okay, close the bracket here, press enter. So the entire column will be filled with that. If at all it is not filled, you can just drag and drop. Okay, so equal to symbol min. I'm just showing outside. Okay, so just select the column over here. Up to this, I'll just select it. Okay, press. See, already I had applied for it. The formatting, everything was done. So that is why it is taking automatically. If at all I enter some data here, see, here the total column and the average column automatically it is filled, and your last min column it is also automatically filled with the data. So similar to your min, you also have max. Okay, so you also have max is equal to max. Okay, just put a tab over there. It will highlight the particular formula. Select the range here. Okay, close the brackets and press enter. It is going to be filled out. Okay. Okay. So up to this, everybody are clear. So we have done the basic formulas here. Then we'll just go to the a little bit more higher formulas: ceiling, floor, round, trunk, and mod. Okay. So any doubts up to this? Any doubts up to this? Okay. So these are the basic concepts. Okay. So we'll just start with ceiling here. Okay. And I want all of you to interact. Okay. For this, let us just have an interaction and find out the result for all of this. Okay. I'll teach you the formula. Just answer me for that. Okay. So now I have a number here for as 23.4. I just want this one to be rounded up to the next multiple of 3. See, the ceiling function, it is going to round up to the nearest multiple value. Rounds up to the next number. Okay. Floor will rounds down to the nearest multiple. Rounds down means the lesser number, rounds up to the next numbers. Okay. So now I have 23.4, or also you can just give it as 23. Now I want to round it up to the next multiple of 3. Can anybody tell which is the next multiple of 3 for 23? Next multiple of 3. Next multiple of 3. 26, is it? Multiple of 3 means next multiple I'm asking. 26, is it? 27, no. After 23, do we have next multiple as 26? Okay, let us check your answers. Okay, let us check your answers. How do I check? I have to use the ceiling function, right? So is equal to ceiling. Okay, once you type that, you get the suggestion here. Just press the tab. And now I'll select the number here, or manually you can enter there. Okay, I'll just select the cell here. And as you can see, the ceiling function will take 2 arguments, 2 numbers. So first one is the number, okay, which has to be rounded up. And the second one is the significance. Here, significance is nothing but, okay, it is the multiple. So here my multiple is 3, right? So just close it. Okay, I'll press enter. It is 24. See, we have 24, right? 24. 24 is the multiple of 3, right? So after 23, we have 24. 24 after that?
27.
Yes. Okay, like that you can just choose. Okay. So now this is the multiple of 23. If you want to change this to 5, just press enter. Okay. And here I can just change the significance. See here, if at all you give the cell number. Okay, here significance directly I have given. If at all you want to change, I'll give the cell number here and press enter. See, automatically the next multiple is 25. If I change this multiple now, okay, I have removed it. I'll just give it as 6 and press enter. Automatically it is giving me 24. That means in the formula, I have selected the cells. I haven't given the numbers directly, right? So any changes I make to this 2 cells, it will be affected in the formula that I am using. Okay. So now if I change the number here, okay, let us go with the simple one. I have 10 here as the multiple and I have the number as 34. Okay, so which is the next multiple? I automatically got it as 40. So if I just give it as 1, I'll not press enter, automatically you're going to get the formula. So now I have the 34 as the number. I want the next multiple of 1. Can anybody tell for 1? Sorry, 34. After 34, what do you have for multiple of 1?
35.
30, 34
5.
itself, 35. So 34 itself, it is going to show you here. See, we'll just take directly here 1 and we have 34, right? So it is going to consider the next, the 34 itself is the multiple, right? So that is why it is considering 34. If at all you give 2 for this, again 34, because 34 itself is divisible by 2, right? So that is why it is rounded up to the same number. If at all you have any decimal number here as 3. So now just see 34.3 is 34. Okay, if at all I give 35.3, the next, okay, I didn't change the formula here. Okay, let me give the cell number 35.3 and the significance is 2. Okay, now it gets changed to 36. If the number itself is divisible by that number, okay, so 35 is not divisible by 2, right? So that is why it is converted into 36. If at all you give 36 itself here, 36.3 doesn't matter, okay? If you give only 36 itself, now see, okay, 3 it is considering the next number. Okay, if you have the fractional part, okay, if you don't have the fractional part, 36 itself. If you have the fractional part, see here, it is changed to the next number. Like that, if you have 37, you have 37.3, it will be 38 itself. If you have the same number, which is divisible by the multiple, okay, 2, whatever I have mentioned there, it will remain same. It will not go to the next number. If you have the fractional part, 0.3, 0.5, it doesn't matter what is the fractional, but it is going to cover it, round it up to the next number. Any doubt, any confusion here? Shall I explain it again? Anybody wants again? Ceiling? Okay, I'll come to floor. If at all you have any doubts in ceiling, again, let me explain both of them. Okay, similar to ceiling, we'll just consider for floor. Okay, so 23.4 and the multiple I have taken it as 3 here. So the formula will be floor, okay, of the number is 23.4 and comma, and the significance is the multiple is 3. Just close the brackets and press enter. It rounds it down, the previous multiples. Okay, if I remove this decimal point, okay, still it is 21. And if I change the number here to 27, it changes to 27 itself, because 27 is a factor of 3, right? It is also a multiple of 3. So that is why it is remaining 27 itself. If I give 27.3 or 27.4 or 6, just press enter. Again, it is going to consider the same value. Okay. Any doubts here? Floor and ceiling? Okay. Okay. Next one will go to round here. Okay. Next one we will go to round here. See, round means 58.68574. It is there, no? Now I just want, see, let me write the formula for you, is equal to round of the number first and the number of digits next. So the number is 58.68574, and here number of digits means we have to specify. Actually, I am rounding the number up to the decimal numbers. Okay, only up to 2, 3, whichever the number you specify after this. Okay, comma, number of digits, if I specify it as 2, it is going to consider only 6 and 8 here. And now 8 is greater than 5, right? So 8 is greater than 5. So I'll just close it and press enter. It is converted into 58.69. If at all I change the number here as 4, 6, 4, and I want to round it up to 2 decimal points, right? So I'll just click on this. See, 6, 4 becomes 6, 5 here. Okay, so now, okay, it is considering this one, the third digit. Okay, see now I'll just round it up to 3 if you want. Okay, so now what do we have? 6, 4, 5. So just press enter. So we have 7 over here. So 6, 4, 6. Anything that is greater than 5 will round it up to the next number. Otherwise, it comes down. Okay, so now if you want, I'll change the number here. 3, 4, 4. Okay, 344, and I'll press enter. So up to 2 decimal points, I'll just change it here up to 2 decimal points. So now you're going to get it as 63 itself, since we have 4 as lesser than 5. If it is greater than 5, then it will be changed to 5, or next, okay, it will be changed to 64. Otherwise, it remains 63 itself. Okay, so that is your round function. So truncate is nothing but, here also we are actually rounding up the number up to certain decimal points that you give. Okay, trunc function. Okay, here also I'll select the cell and give the number of digits up to 2, but here it doesn't round up the numbers. It is going to just select 2 decimal points after the number, two numbers after the decimal point. Just press enter. It is going to give you 58.68 as it is. Okay. And the final one we have here as, see, if at all you want the 3 digits, just change it over here. Okay. Just if you give 3 digits and press enter, it is going to give you 58.685. Okay. So any doubts up to this? Okay. So, and the final one is mod here. Mod. Okay. See, mod means modulus. See, if I have a number 12 and I have 2. Okay. I have 12 and 2. Manjesh, which one do you want me to repeat? Which function do you want me to repeat? Truncate. Okay. See here, roundup function, it is actually converting it, right? So 63 means 6354 is there. But since I have 635, after 3 I have 5, right? So here up to 2 decimal points I am rounding up. It becomes 64. 63 is 64. It has rounded up to the next number. But here in truncate, if at all I want to eliminate or select only or display only 2 digits after the decimal point, okay, I can just give here as 2 number comma the decimal numbers and press enter. It is not going to convert anything. It is not rounding up anything else. It is just going to select the number as it is. So after the decimal point, it is going to choose only 2 digits and it is going to display for you. So 58.68 as it is. If at all you give 3 here, sorry, comma, and you have given 3. Okay, so press enter. It chooses 58.68 and 5. Any doubts? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here the final one is modulus. Okay. See, before going to that, we'll just see if I divide a number from 2 here, 12 by 2. Okay, so I'll just directly do it, equal to 12 divided by 2. Okay, press enter. You're going to get here as a quotient. Here, whatever you have got, it is a quotient, right? So now here, mod means if at all I divide a number from any other number, some other divisor, whatever I want to get, quotient I'm getting, I just want the remainder. I want the remainder. So if I use the division symbol, it is not going to give you remainder, right? So that is why we have a function here called as mod. So now is equal to mod. Okay. So I'll select the particular function, select the number and comma, and then the divisor from which number you're going to divide it. Okay. Just close the brackets and press enter. It is showing me 0 because 52 is completely divisible by 2. Right? So that is why it is giving you this number. Suppose if I give some other number as 53, what will be the remainder for this? If I give 53 divided by 2, right? I'm not talking about the quotient, okay? It is just the remainder that we have to get, that we will be getting, sorry. 53 divided by 2 will be 1, right? So only 1 is the, see if I just give the number, I didn't select, yeah. So it changed to 1. Okay. So like this, you can just, so here also 63 by 2, you'll be getting it as 1 only. This is how you can use the mod function to get the remainder for a particular expression. Okay. That means you need to divide a number. So when you divide a number, you're going to get a reminder for that. Okay. That reminder will be the result of mod function. Okay. So now up to this, we have seen some mathematical functions. See, one more, I just left it over here. That is product. Okay. See, product means normally how we do, you can just use the product as the formula for this. Okay. Product, we have the formula. If you want to give a number here. So 12, 4. Okay. And close the brackets, press enter. The value will be displayed. This is how you can just use a product function here. Okay. You can use a product function over here. Okay. So now here I have a table of that particular receipt. I have purchased some items here, the quantity, product value, and the final amount. Okay. I have got it as 450. Now for this, I need to give the tax, right? I need to add the tax. So now here I'm going to multiply this tax amount with the total amount which I have got to get the cash. I mean to say the total amount of this central tax. Same thing, state tax I need to give here, right? So that is when I need to multiply the total content here with the total amount here with the state tax. So how do I do it? Just give the product. So, okay, just select the product function, select this amount, comma, which other cell I need to select? This is 2.50%, right? So just select that, close the brackets and press enter. You're going to get the amount here, not the percentage, you're going to get the amount here. Okay, similarly, either you can just drag and drop here because same formula, right? But here the value will change, right? So you can just go with the formula if you want, equal to product. Okay, equal to product. Okay, and then select the amount, comma, the 2.50%, close the bracket and press enter. It is going to finally give you the amount of the tax. This is the percentage, this is the total cost. This is the total cost. This is the amount. So everything will be added. See the formula that I have written here for the total. If I just press F2, directly it is going to show you sum of G8 to G10. G8 to G10 is which one? See, this is G8 to G10 is this one. So 450 plus 11.25 plus 11.25. This is how you can get the product of the numbers and total of it. Okay, this is how it can be a final amount can be generated like this. Okay, so this is about your mathematical functions. Okay, and other than sum, you do have two more. Okay, we'll just discuss those, which is sum if and sum ifs. Sum if and sum ifs. Concentrate here, sum if and sum ifs. Okay, so here sum if. Okay, so in sum, what do we do? If I want the sum of entire column, I can just do it, right? Sum of, I can just select the column over here. Okay, and close the brackets. So entire sum will be in my hand, right? So here it will be displayed. But what about I have a criteria. I just want to add, I just want to get the sum of in stock, that is this column. Okay, only the bananas. I just want the product bananas. Okay, total of bananas in stock. So how do we do that? See, I want what? I just want the total number of bananas in stock. Total number of bananas in stock. So how to do that? We can go with sum if. See, here either you can just select. See, I have 1, 2, and 3 rows, right? I can directly select the cell here, right? But if at all you have large database, there you cannot find, right? Which is the row that has banana. Like that, I cannot just go on searching for each and every cell. So here Excel will provide you automatically the criteria that can be mentioned in the formula. So how do I do that? See, equal to, I'll go with sum if function, not sum ifs, sum if function. Okay, just select it, Press tab, it is going to select. Now, once I press the tab there, it is going to show you the format in which I have to write the formula. So what is the first one? First one is the range. What range I need to consider? I need to get the entire table, right? So that is my range. The complete table will be my range. I will select it, put a comma. Second one is what? It is the criteria. So what is the criteria? Criteria is my bananas. So I want to just search for bananas, right? So that bananas text, it is a text, right? So put that text inside the double quotes here. Okay, that is important. Only if you put it inside the text double quotes, you're going to get the criteria correct. Okay, so bananas is a text, so you're going to include within double quotes. If it is a number, don't give it in the double quotes. Okay, so just put a comma after that. What do I have to find out? I want the sum of in stock, right? Only bananas in stock. So I want the sum. Here I have 3 of them. 3 rows are there. All the 3 rows in stock, I need to get the sum of it. So just select the column here. Okay, close the brackets and press enter. I got 9, 10 here. Okay, so how do I cross check whether it is correct or not? I'll use the sum function here to check it. Okay, sum of, I'll select only 180, comma. Here the next one is 400, right? So just select the cell. Okay, and I have the bananas in the last column, that is 330. 400 and 330. I'll just close it and select OK. Did I get 9, 10? See, both of them are giving me the same result, right? So now this is how you can make use of sum if function. Okay, anybody want me to repeat this? Anybody want me to repeat this, or did you understand? Or shall I show you some other example again? Okay, so I'll just move to the sum ifs. Okay, if you get confused, just tell me. Okay, so sum ifs, the next one is sum ifs. So what is the difference between sum if and sum ifs here means? Here I have only one criteria, right? I just want to add only the bananas rows here. I don't want anything else. Here in sum ifs, I want to check for the total number of bananas in stock supplied by, let me tell bananas with, okay, John. So here, as you can observe, there are 2 criteria, right? I want bananas in stock supplied by John. Bananas here, as you can observe the table, I have bananas supplied by Pete, bananas supplied by Mike, and bananas supplied by John. Okay, so we'll for our reference, let us just change this to John, so that we'll have 2 of them. Okay, so I have many suppliers here. Under them, I want the bananas supplied only by John. So now we'll just use sum ifs. Okay, sum if is useful when you have only one criteria. Sum ifs will be useful when you have multiple criteria. Okay, so now function is sum ifs, right? Sum ifs. Okay, so now observe this, the format. The first one is the sum range. What is the sum range? That means what do I have to calculate? The quantity, right? So here I'll just choose this, put a comma. It will ask me for the criteria range 1. It will ask me for the criteria range 1. So criteria range 1 means in the product I have to choose, right? So bananas, it is in the product column. So the range I need to choose. So complete product column you choose. That is my criteria range 1. So banana is my first criteria, right? So it is there in which range? The product range. That is why I choose this. Put a comma. The next one, criteria 1. In this particular criteria range, what exactly you are looking for? I am looking for bananas, right? So just give that bananas in double quotes. In the product column, I am looking for bananas. Don't make any spelling mistakes there. Okay, then it will not take you in. Take the complete, correct criteria there. Okay, so bananas is my first criteria. So put a comma. It will ask you for the second criteria. It will ask me for the second criteria. So what is my second criteria? Range. The first is criteria range. So supplier will be my second criteria. Just to choose that criteria. In that criteria range, what exactly I am looking for? I am looking for John, right? I am looking for John. So just give that in the double quotes. And it is also case sensitive. Okay, it is also case sensitive. If J is capitalized, give the criteria also as capitalized. Okay, so these are my criteria. Okay, so like this, you can have n number of criteria checked at once. Okay, after I have given two criteria, I'll close it, press enter. What did I get? I got it as 510. Now, how do I recheck this? Equal to sum. Okay, so I'll just check this 180, comma, the bananas with John is 330. Press enter. So I got it as 510 and here also I got it as 510. Okay, so basically sum if is useful for checking for only one criteria, and if you have multiple criteria, you can go with sum ifs. Anybody is having any doubts with these two topics, sum if and sum ifs? Sum if and sum ifs. If you want me to repeat again, I'll just do it once. Otherwise, I'll just move on to the next topic. Okay. Anybody? Okay. So I think everybody has understood. Okay. So this is about your sum if and sum ifs. Okay. So next one we have it as statistical formulas. Statistical formulas. Okay. So what exactly we are going to look here? We have different count functions here. We have different mathematical related only. Statistical means, see, you have square, you want to find out the square root of a number, okay, power of a number, or you just want the factorial of some number. Like this, you can just calculate, okay, using different functions. Now, as you can see, the table which I have made, okay, here I have got the product, supplier, and in stock, the same table, okay, and I have left these blanks intentionally. Okay, I have left this blank intentionally. I'll just tell you why. So now we have different functions over here. So we have the first one as count function. So what exactly the count function is going to do? Okay, so the count, if at all you want to know the definition for this, if at all you forget after my class, so just type the formula count. Okay, just place the cursor on the particular count function. To the right side, okay, maybe the screen is not, maybe screen will not be sufficient for you to view that properly. If at all you can see, there it says counts the number of cells in a range that contain numbers. Count function, it is going to count only the range that contain the numbers. So here, okay, we can just, okay, let me just clear this. I'll just come to that later. So count function, it is going to count only the numbers. It counts only the numbers. See here, I'll select this range. Okay, I just want to know how many rows. How many rows are there with numbers? See, I have in stock column, I just have these many, right? I'll just give that particular column as a range, close it, press enter. It is showing me 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? If at all, I remove any of this, the empty cell will not be counted. The empty cell will not be counted. Okay, if at all, again, enter some value here. See, it changes to 7. Like this, the count function, it is going to count only the numbers. Similar to that, we have count A function. Count A function also. See what it does, we'll just check with the definition first. So count A. Okay, so here counts the number of cells in a range that are not empty. That are not empty. See here, you may contain anything. You may contain a data in a number format or a alphabets. Both it is going to consider. Both it is going to consider. Now, what does a count A function does? It is going to counts only the cells with data. Okay. If a particular cell has any, it is empty. If a particular cell is an empty cell, then it is not going to consider that. Now, count function will consider only the numbers. See here, if at all I change this range to any other one, I'll choose the first one here as the product. Now see the output, because the column doesn't contain any value, right? The column doesn't contain any value. It contains only the alphabets or the text. That is why it is 0 here. Similarly, see if I change this to count A function. If I change this to count A function with the same range, and I'll just press enter, see what does it give you? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, leaving out these two empty spaces. So basically the count A function, it is going to count the cell only with the data, leaving out the empty cells. Okay, clear with count and count A. See if at all I try to enter some value here. Okay, automatically it changes from 5 to 6. Okay, so that is your count A function. What is this count blank? As the name itself suggests, right? Equal to count blank. Counts the number of empty cells in a specified range of cells. Count blank will counts only the blank cells. Counts only the blank cells. See, whatever you are seeing here as hash name question mark, this is nothing but this is an error that is shown to you. That means, see, I didn't complete the function name, right? So Excel doesn't know what is count B. If I write count A, it knows. But count B function, it is not a built-in function. What do we have? Okay, here count B function, the formulas will be defined by Excel people itself, right? They have already defined it. They have already written what functionality this particular function has to perform. Okay, so in that list, the Excel doesn't find any count B. That is when you get this type of error as name, hash name of. Now, if I give the correct name, and I won't specify any values. Okay, one second. Okay. See, it is again showing you the range. It requires the range, right? So if I give something like this, it says it is a formula. It requires something like the range or the particular set of data. But 12, I don't find anything. Okay. So what is the range I need to select here? So I'm trying to take complete table here as the range and press enter. See, there are only 3 spaces for me, right? 1, 2, and 3. So these 3 will be counted for by count blank function. If at all I fill out this with something, see, it becomes 2 automatically. Excel is going to convert all those things. So this is how you can make use of count blank function. Okay, so next one is count if. So what exactly count if is going to do? We'll just check with the definition first. Okay, counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. Counts the number of cells within a range that meets the given condition. See, count if, open the brackets, it requires the range. Okay, I'll just select the complete product. Okay, and give the criteria. What do you want? What are you actually looking for? Bananas, right? So how many bananas rows you have? We'll just give that within the double quotes. Okay, just close it, press enter. See, we have 3 rows with bananas, right? So that is the particular criteria we are having. See, in the previous sum if and sum ifs, we are trying to get the sum. But here, the count function will just count the number of cells with that criteria. Okay, if at all you want any other thing, let me just fill out this also with bananas. See, it automatically changes to 4. If I change this one, or in the condition, if I change this banana to apples, okay, apple, okay, it is just apple. So criteria name should be same. Okay, press enter. We just have 2 cells with apple. This is how you can make use of count if function. Okay, so the count if function is going to count the number of cells according to the condition or the criteria which you have given in the formula or the function. Okay, this is about your count, different type of count functions. First one will just have the count of the numbers. Second one, cells with the data. It will not consider any empty cell, and count blank function will just select the blank cells. Count the number of blank cells in the particular range. Count if function will select or have a count of or display the count of the cells which satisfies the criteria. Now we have the next one as square root function. See, in the keyboard you don't find any square root symbol, right? We don't have any square root symbol. We can find plus, minus, into, division, everything, but we don't have any square root symbol. So how do I find out the square root then? It is not so easy to find out the square root, right? Simple numbers, we can do it. But if at all I have a complex numbers, I don't know how to do it, right? So this Excel is going to provide us with a different formulas or a particular formula called as square root formula, square root function or the formula equal to SQRT. Okay, just put a tab and select a number or enter a number. Both will give you the same value. Okay, if I give 16 here and press enter, it is going to give you the number. Okay, so we have it as 4. If at all you want to change the number here, you can do it. Okay, you can just give some other number here. So it is going to give you the 7 as the result. The square root of 49 will be 7. And similar to that, we have power. We have power. Okay, so what does this power is going to do? Actually, it takes 2 numbers. Okay, if at all I want to know what is 2 power 3. 2 power 3. Okay, so it is nothing but 2 into 2 into 2, right? Instead of doing, okay, equal to 2 into 2 into 2, okay, it is 8, right? Instead of this, if you have a long numbers, okay, what you can do is you can just type the formula equal to power of, it requires a number, that is the base number, that is 2 comma, okay, after that you need to mention the power, that is 3, close the brackets and press enter. You're going to get the number ready there. Okay, if at all you want any other number, just change the number there, 12 comma 2. 12 comma 2. So press enter. You're going to get the number there. This is your power function. Okay. So next one is pi. So can anybody tell what is pi value? If you know complete value, it is fine, but it's okay. So what is pi? What is pi? 22 by 7, right? So what is 22 by 7? Madhuri, what is 22 by 7? Or even Manjesh or Chitra, anybody can tell me. Because, yeah, 3.14, right?
14.
Yeah, okay. So the complete value, you can get it with the help of pi. So how do I use that? C is equal to pi, okay, of, just write the formula, nothing else you have to do. Just press enter, the complete value, you can get it over here. Understood? If you want to remove the decimal points, okay, just select this. I'm sorry, select the cell and just click on this. Okay, it is going to give you the more numbers. If at all you want to remove the decimal place, you can just do it. This is how you can use the pi, or if at all you want to use this pi value with other expressions. Okay, so is equal to, I just want to multiply with 3. So 3 into or 3 plus, okay, just go with the pi function. pi function. Okay, just press enter. It is going to give you the value 9.4248. See, if you want it manually, 3 into the cell also you can choose. Okay, 9.4248. Okay, either way you can just use this. How did I do that? Equal to symbol is first, then write the value which you want to use it with the pi value. So 4 plus, okay, just pi value, pi function you can just select, close the bracket, press enter. It is going to give you the value 7.1416. This is how you can make use of pi function. Okay, see, all are known functions, right? Known, I mean, like, you know how to use it in maths. Similarly, how to use it with the help of a function. I'm just showing you. You will be knowing the working, right? So that is why I'm just little going fast. In this session, whatever I have done, you can revise everything. Okay, and let me know. Only two are actually available. I'll just finish it. So average function will come under actually statistical functions. Okay, so we can consider here or there, no issues. Okay, we'll just try to cover only these two today, and I'll try to wind up the class. Okay, so now tell me, what is factorial? What do you mean by a factorial? How do you calculate the factorial? So how do we do the factorial? Anybody knows? Okay, see, factorial is nothing but if I ask for 5 factorial like this, okay, so like this, it is nothing but 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If I ask for 4 factorial, it will be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. If I ask for 2 factorial, 2 into 1. Like this, you're going to consider the number up to 1. Product of the numbers up to 1. So this is your factorial. So 5 factorial will be 120. Okay, so in order to find out the factorial, I can just go with the fact function over here. So equal to fact of, just specify the number here. If I give it as 5, okay, press enter, you're going to get it as 120. Okay, so otherwise, if at all you want to change the number, instead of 5, you can just go with any other number. Just if I go with 4, it gives you 24. So 4 into 3 is 12, 12 2s are 24. So 24 will be the factorial of 4. Okay, and the last one is abs function. Here abs is nothing but absolute. Okay, absolute function. What does this absolute function is going to do? Here absolute function will convert a negative value to the positive number. See, if I pass is equal to abs of, if I give -9, if I pass some negative value to this and press enter, it is going to convert that into a positive value. Okay, so the negative value gets converted to positive value. See, this is one usage. Or see, the basic nature of abs function is to convert from negative to positive. But see, if in this particular cell itself, okay, see, I'll try to subtract some number, 45 with 90. Okay, if I say equal to 45 minus 90 and press enter, you're getting a negative number, right? If at all I want to change this, again I have to write is equal to abs of. I have to select this cell, close the brackets, press enter. Now in the next step, it is converted into the positive value. But I just want this to happen in the same cell here itself. So what to do? I can just go with abs function directly. Open the brackets. I'm so sorry. Yeah, abs of 45 minus 90, close the brackets and press enter. See, you got the positive value directly here. Okay, whatever the number, whatever the operation that is performed here, okay, the result you get in negative, right? So the negative number automatically can be converted into positive using abs function. Okay, this is how you can just use the abs function. Okay, anybody is having any doubts here in ACTS or entire session? You can let me know, then we're going to wind up the session. Okay. Any doubts? Any topics need to be covered again? Okay. Chitra, thank you for the feedback. Okay, so we'll just wind up for today's session. Okay, any doubts you have? Manjesh, how is auto sum used? See, it is automatically giving you the formula for different kinds of things like sum to calculate the total. Okay, for average, minimum, maximum. Okay, see here, if I have a list of numbers over here. I place the cell over here and click on auto sum. Automatically, it is giving me the sum. Okay, so it is the sum that is calculated. If at all you want to change it, just go to this drop down. Okay, you can just here, just select whichever the formulas you want, either average, count. Okay, if I select count, it is going to give you this count of it, or here only you can just go and change it to average. So like that, it can be automatically. You're not writing any formulas. Automatically, it will be done. Okay, is it clear? Manjesh Kumar, yeah, Manjesh Kumar, is it clear? Okay. Okay, any other doubts if you have, please list it out so that in the next coming session, Saturday, we can just clear all those things. Okay, I think we can just wind up for today. It's already 4. Okay, 3 minutes more, but if you have any doubts, you can drop a message in the chat box. Okay, so I hope nobody has having any doubts. Okay, if at all you have, please note it down so that next session I'll be clearing all those doubts. Okay, so thank you for the session.